you doing? Hello.
I forgot to put my earrings in, y'all. What are you doing? You know? Stop! It's cold. Stop! No, it's cold on me.
Well, it's better than what you was putting on me. So shut up.
Oh, like that. Okay. I feel a lot better now I have my earrings in.
I look very bad, but I'm tired. It's 3 in the morning.
So we are here because we just want to talk about Kim Jonghyun, and we want to just address like this whole issue, I guess. Like there's I don't know where like to begin. I don't know where to begin.
I think like first of all, we want to give our deepest sympathy to his family, friends, and the fandom, because I can't even imagine the pain that they're enduring right now. I mean, I can't even begin to even say that I imagine or I know how you feel, because I don't in any way, shape, or form. And but to have any kind of, I don't even want to say positivity, or have any kind of
light,
silver lining that comes out of this unfortunate tragedy, is just to make sure that you keep a close eye on those in your life, keep in contact, make sure you talk about feelings, even if, and especially if you know that your loved one or you yourselves are suffering from depression. Make sure that you keep in touch with those loved ones that you have, or a trusted person, just because you never know what may happen in their day that may trigger them to feel like that is the only solution, is to end their lives. That's the only way they feel is the way out of it. And it's unfortunate that he felt like that, because as you can see, the outpour worldwide, that truly fans and other artists truly care for him, that he didn't have to take that route, but he felt it was necessary to stop whatever struggles he was dealing with.
Right. And I know of like a lot of people, I mean, not necessarily a lot of people, but some of the people that I know, they'll just be like, oh, well, he didn't have to resort to that. He didn't have to do that. Like, he could have just did something else. Like, he could have just reached out and talked to people. But you don't know people's circumstances. Like, maybe he wasn't able to speak out and say anything because he was taking the needs of others into consideration too much. Like how some people say, like, the saddest person is always the happiest person. So like if you're always the happiest person around other people, why would you want to talk about how you're feeling sad? Because you want to make them happy. You don't want to be the Debbie Downer. But sometimes it's okay to be that, or you're not even the Debbie Downer. You just need to talk to somebody. It's almost like having anger problems and then like bottling all of that anger up, and then whenever you finally let it out, oop, there's a murder case. And that's exactly is the same thing with like with Jonghyun, because the reason that this all happened, I feel like part of the reason, I don't know the whole story, but I feel part of the reason is because he wasn't able to truly show that he was sad and depressed and lonely. He wasn't able to truly convey his emotions the way it needed to be done. And it's hard when you have to live through a mask and you can't really say I'm sad today. You can't do that because you know your fans will be sad, and you don't want your fans to be sad. You want them to be happy, but you want to be able to talk to them and say that, or even your family. You want to be able to talk to them, but you don't want them to be sad. It's hard. And it's sad that people have to live like that. There's people still living that are basically, they feel they're dead inside, but they're just here. almost like I'm living, like my body is not really, is not here. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically, like, you feel like you're just going through the motions. It's not like you're actually living, you're actually being there, like, you're just there. And I feel like sometimes whenever you're not, whenever you feel like the life you live isn't yours, that can be the emotion, that could be the feeling that you have 24/7. And that's not a fun thing to have. And so I just feel, I just feel so bad, like, that people have to live like that. And whenever you live like that, the sad results sometimes can be death. You know, I
And
just, I don't know.
sometimes, like when people do open up,
Hmm.
they may feel like they don't want to burden you again by
Yeah.
saying like I feel like this,
Hmm.
and then they'll brush it off like you're just saying that because it's the season, and it
Hmm.
could be because there's seasonal depression, or you can be feeling like that just because it's just the way like the weather, or it could be something that you just saw, and they're like, well, they just brush it off.
Hmm.
I'm really feeling like I'm not feeling like myself. I feel really empty. I just want to talk to someone. And then they'll say, well, you'll get over it or you'll get better
Right.
in time.
Or you always say that. You
Yeah.
always say that. You always bounce right back. You'll be fine. Like, yeah.
Those are things you may want to avoid saying because that person may not open up again. And it could be, it takes a lot of courage to open up and talk about how you're feeling. Um, and it because you're vulnerable, and whatever feedback you may get, it can hit you to heart, and you may never, or you or the person that is opening up to you may never open up again because they don't want to feel that you know repercussions of I'm being a burden to someone.
Mm.
So if you ever feel like you are in that place, or someone opens up and you just don't feel comfortable, you're like, you know what, I'm a little bit worried. It's okay to like check up on them. Or if you open up and someone gave you the cold shoulder, find someone else to talk to.
Yeah.
You don't have to always go to that one resource. Um, Write it out. Try to have a positive
Yeah.
outlook or an outlet so that you can have your
That's all right.
um oh yeah, I wasn't gonna do that. But so that you can um just get it out so that you can kind of lessen the load on yourself. Or if someone opens up to you, make sure that you're there for them. Call them a little bit, go out with them. Just say, hey, how you're feeling. You don't understand how good it feels when someone say, how are you doing? It seems simple, but for someone to show interest, it really means a lot. And I know for myself, because I suffer from depression, and it means a lot. Like if I, that's a one reason that I truly love K-pop, because K-pop has got me out of it. I was in this funk. I would just like she was saying, going through the motions, just living day by day, like on a hamster wheel. Didn't care about anything. But then when I was introduced to K-pop, and just kind of just got me out of it, it got me out of the cycle. I was able to meet new people, go to new places, sing, and no one judged anyone. No one cared about your race, your age, what you look like. All they cared about was the music. And that was the turning point for me. So try to find interest in someone um who if you yourself or someone that you know may have depression or any kind of illness that keeps them down, or that is giving them problems. Just try to find something to keep them positive. And then there are some tips that we have.
Mm.
You because I don't have
Okay.
glasses.
I thought you.
It took them out because they kept
So
sliding off.
there's a first aid kit that you can have for yourself, And basically, they're just suggestions on how to help you control your thoughts and your feelings. And it's to create, I mean, thoughts and feelings. Oh, okay. So basically, it's the first aid kit for your emotions. Okay, guys? Sorry. Um, so, first one, number one, contact information of people to call when you feel down.
Yeah.
Like we said before, don't only have one person to call. Like, if that one person you call, let's say they're at work, they can't answer the phone, then what do? Have at least 3 people on that list so that you can say, okay, well, I have a backup with a backup, because like you never know what people are doing in their everyday lives. You know, people are still busy and all of that. So also have like a playlist. I use Spotify. Have a playlist of your favorite songs that are positive and uplifting. I know sometimes, like, I'm sorry, it depends on how I'm feeling. Like, if you have a playlist with sad songs, right? It doesn't necessarily make you more sad, because I know sometimes if I'm really, really, really sad, I don't want to listen to an upbeat song. I don't want to. I want to listen to sad songs, and it cheers me up. And I don't know if other people are like that, if other people are as weird as I am, but sometimes it does cheer me up. But for people who don't know how to handle depression or don't have a coping mechanism, definitely just use the positive songs.
That's how I am. I'm upbeat. Like,
Yeah.
I need to have something to keep me moving, something that gives me good memories. If I'm feeling down, I always go to either like something from the concert from K-Con or something that brings back really good memories, so that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this time. And over time, how I'm feeling kind of lessens. If I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling like, just lonely, sad, I don't know. It's like, it's hard to describe, but it's just something that comes over you.
Yeah.
And I would just say, you know what? I'm just going to put on music. I'm just going to walk around the house or do whatever, dance, do whatever. But I have to have something upbeat, and then it will kind of just keep my head in a good space.
Right. You want to do this?
I can do another one is having comforting and upbuilding sayings. It can be from the Bible. It can be from poems, quotes. Things that will keep you in a good mindset. Like we said, it's really good to just be positive and have something, that will kind of snap you back into place.
Right.
We mentioned like mementos to remind you of people who love you. Like for me, when I was saying about the music, I always go back to the tours and any kind of places that we traveled to, because that is when I felt happiest. So I always try to keep little things, or some people keep mementos like flowers or pictures or something like that will help them remember that there are people there that care about you.
Yeah, like with me, I think I just go back to like childhood or nostalgic music that I like. Like, that's probably in the playlist part, but like when I think about like, okay, when I first heard this song, it made me feel like this. And even if it is a slow song, if it made me happy, then I'll play that slow song. Or, like, I'll look at my old pictures or something like that. So, yeah. And then the last one is, is a journal containing your positive thoughts as well as positive experiences you have enjoyed. And that sounds like something that will take time, but it really doesn't. Because if you think about all the fun things that you do, whether it be small or really life-changing fun things, you can just think about them and write them down for later. Like, I'm pretty sure we haven't all had the pleasure of traveling to a different country, but maybe you had a dream about it. Write down a dream. Was it fun? Write down a dream. Oh, I remember that dream. Yeah, I had fell and I splashed my Coca-Cola on this guy in France. Like, it's small things that could be mood changing when you look back on it at the right time. So just it's really a lot. But if you want, the website that we're getting this from is jw.org. Is from Jehovah's Witnesses, and they have a whole scroll on teen depression and depression in teenage girls and boys, and how to deal with your emotions, because they know and we know and y'all know it can be hard and it could be confusing. You don't not all the time you know why you're triggered. It can be from anything. Honestly, it could be from anything. And it's just, and like, I was just telling Lena the other day, like, what if a crazy man put something in the air to make all of us feel depressed and commit suicide? And I was like, what if that would happen? Like, what would happen? Like,
we were all like, and we were trying to say, like, how could we prevent it? And I'm like, well, if it's in the air, it's already in the trees, and it'll be in the fruit. And then we were just trying to like figure out like you that would be really scary.
It'd be a scary movie, y'all. We should be movie producers, but I think that, if something like I feel like that sometimes. Like, I feel like, wow, like everybody's really depressed. Like, everybody is really not having a good time living their lives. And like, when you think about how many people go through depression, you're like, is there somebody putting that out? Like, it's really, really a lot.
It's because like depression it hits anyone.
Right.
It doesn't discriminate. It don't care about your social status. It doesn't care about your name. It doesn't care about how much money you make. I think I put it on my Instagram. It's just a greedy, selfish, hungry abyss that just want to gobble up your future, your life, your family. I mean, it just gobbles up everything. And there's no one way to stop it, but you can control it. All right. Like I said, it took me years to realize it because I didn't have the normal symptoms. Oh.
Hey, y'all. Sorry.
Oh, good. Is we back?
Yeah. Oh, let me mute that.
Oh, are we gonna be looking at ourselves?
Yeah, but we can see what they see. All right.
Oh my goodness, that's how I look on camera.
Sorry.
Oh my Lord.
But
all right.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Oh, I need to take my glasses off. Take your glasses off.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forgot what we were saying.
What I was saying was that it doesn't really matter.
You're saying it doesn't
it took me a while because I didn't have the symptoms of a lot of people said, well, if you sleep a lot, then you're depressed. Or you eat a lot, you're depressed. If you don't eat, you're depressed. I didn't have a lot of those symptoms. I just knew that I didn't care about how I looked, what I did around the house for a while. Then I would come out of it, and then I would start like, okay, cleaning up a little bit more. But my sister would know. My sister will come over and she's like, what's going on here? And then she'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna come over and we're just gonna hang out and do something, and that kind of helped me. So there's not one way of like diagnosing, saying that you're depressed. Just know that if you don't feel like yourself, it could be, but don't go by like the textbook of you have to have every single symptom to be depressed. It could be one, it could be none, it could be different things. That's all I want to make sure. Because a lot of people are like, well, you don't look depressed. There's not a look to it. It's just the way you feel. and it's just, your not self observation, but just how you feel
Yeah.
internally. And a lot of times it is about how you feel about yourself, but it can be other things too.
Yeah, like I remember when I was in like 10th grade and I went to the doctor and they had found something on my body, right? So they were, that sounds like a wart or something. No, not like that. But basically, my doctor found something, and so he talked to me about it and asked why would I do something like that, And I just kind of was clueless. I didn't know why. I just felt like it was a outlet of something and I couldn't really pinpoint what. And so basically then, like, the doctor is going to step in and say, "Oh, you have yada yada yada, you have yada yada yada," right? But you never, well, I never take that seriously. Like, I never really ever do. And the reason why I'm saying that is cuz like if you like are diagnosed with something, does that necessarily make it wrong or right? Like, I feel like whenever I was diagnosed with yada yada yada, it was more of like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't care. You're not going to give me medicine. You're not going to do this for me. I'm not talking to anybody. I don't care. I can handle it on my own. And some people, I think, are in this, like, some people can be in, like, what's the word?
Denial.
Denial of it, and they don't want to admit that they have it because they know that the people that do have it way worse. So whenever they go around, they're like, okay, well, I have this as well, and then the other person, they're like, oh no, you don't got it because you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that. And like she said before, it's not always uh a dictionary definition for depression. It's not something that you can pinpoint, okay, well, if I have this, then I have depression. Like, no. So I just feel like, if you, like she said, if you even feel like you are down and you are sick and you think that you might have it, then feel free to talk to somebody about it. Talk to a doctor if you feel comfortable, but really talk to your family members and your friends who are close with you, who will probably understand you. They can see you from the outside in. They can see your changes and everything, even though you might not. So I just think that, yeah, it's great to talk to other people.
And don't let
Yeah.
people persuade you.
Yeah.
If you talk to family and friends, of course they're gonna give you their opinion because that's what they do, and it's okay. But if you feel like you still need to get medical, like seek a professional, go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Go do that because I know in our culture, and especially in the black culture, they always say what goes on in our house stays in our house.
Yeah, or like don't
speak
don't
about
do
it.
That. Yeah,
Because
just don't do it.
They felt like it's a stigma if you say, "Hey, I have depression," or "I have some kind of illness," or anything like that. It's a bad, not like it's a bad omen. I don't know how to say it. Like it's like a bad
it's just not
stigma.
Spoken about.
Yeah,
like,
and obviously by not speaking about it, it does have dire consequences. And always talk about it. Like, break the cycle. That's all I'm saying. Just break the cycle. It's not it's too many outlets. I mean, I just saw an ad on TV today for a therapist to text you. Like, you can text a therapist. Like, it's too many ways for you guys and for everyone, not just, I'm including myself. Like, it's too many ways we can have help if you need it, and it's available.
Right.
For it to be looked at as a bad thing. It's not a bad stigma. You're not being punished. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You're loved. You're worth it, and it's just an obstacle that we're gonna have to conquer. That's how I look at it. It's a daily obstacle. A lot of people feel like they're being punished or they're wronged or whatever they may feel by other people. It's not that. and you're not any different. You just have, everyone has their different challenges. This is just one of them. That's how I feel.
Yep. So we're gonna reply back to some of you guys. I know that we haven't really been saying anything to your comments because we just want
They've
to
been talking amongst themselves, which is good.
We
like,
just wanted to really
And
say
I
our
can't
deepest
see nothing.
feelings. So, okay, here.
But let me say this too.
Okay.
I am so happy, and it makes me so proud to see how the K-pop community came together and played tribute. It wasn't, not saying that they wouldn't. I'm not, but it just feels like when you need your friends, or if something happens, you see all your friends and everybody come. There's people out of the woodworks that were there, you know, and it felt good. Everyone seemed respectful. The media seemed respectful. The fans seemed respectful. Like, it was really nice to see and to see that outpour of love. Like, I feel like myself, like I was going through, I didn't know how many Shiny songs I knew, because for myself, I'm pretty new to K-pop, like 2 years in, you know, and all I really knew was BTS and Big Bang and, like, you know, and some Shiny songs. But as I was going through the playlist, I'm up here like singing along. I'm like, wow, I knew, and I would know songs, but I didn't know who it was by. But as they were playing some songs, I'm like, I knew a lot more Shiny songs than I thought. And though I did not have a bias in Shiny, I really, like, look, I would have had Jonghyun. He would have been my bias in that group.
Mine probably would have been like Minho or Jonghyun. Jonghyun has like the beautiful smile. Like,
yes.
Wow.
You just want to like get hugs from him all day. Like that smile. Oh.
That smile is just.
And that voice. Let me tell you, I can hear him.
To the moon. Okay, leave it for him.
He was, when I heard him sing, I didn't hear him, but I watched a video of him singing live. He can hit these notes, and he can hold these notes like crazy. He was like almost like a supernatural being. I don't even know how to describe it, because there's these notes that and I'm like, you're going to have to stop. You're going to pass out or you're going to stop. And he's just holding it. I mean, and he hit these notes, and he has this voice. It was just so angelic. Like, I just really hope that he would know how much I hate that it took for him to be appreciated even more.
Right.
To be embraced even more. That's the sad part, because it's such a loss for everyone, you know, and he kind of fell through the cracks, unfortunately, in certain things. But I hope if there's anything about it that they'll bring more awareness, and I know they are, but in order for them to bring it, they have to accept it. So I hope that everyone, especially idols, because they do have a lot of pressures, that they do accept the help that's available to them.
I mean, like, if you look at like Top's situation, he reached out, he tried to get help, but they declined. And so, like, what do you do when you try to seek professional help but get declined? What do you do when you have heart failure and you say, I need to go to the doctor, but you don't have insurance, and they don't take you? Then you just die. Like, it's just like, what do you do? So I just feel like they should definitely bring more awareness, like in South Korea, in America, in other countries where it's not widely spoken about. And they need to bring more awareness and more attention to that. Because I feel like at that point, when you go to the doctor and you know yourself, you know, I have a mental issue, I want to get help, and you get declined, it doesn't make sense to me. That's all. It just doesn't make sense. If somebody is in need, then why would you decline? If you know you can help them, why would you decline your help? And it just doesn't, like I said, it just doesn't register with me. But I just really pray that, like how we said before at the beginning of this live stream, that if there's any light amongst all this dark, is that they bring more awareness to situations like his.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what you guys are talking about. So it says, honestly, K-pop has been the biggest help, specifically BTS, in me dealing with my depression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
glad. Yeah, like I said, it was me. Like I wouldn't even thought of it. Like when I first went to KCON, we went to KCON 2016. We first went, and I was like, I'm gonna feel so out of place. I just in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna be so awkward. And it's all gonna be young girls. I'm gonna be the oldest one there. No one else is gonna, talk to me, and I'm just gonna have a horrible time. I'm just gonna wait to see BTS, and I'm just gonna, And within 2 seconds, we, got our little spot. Of course, you sit in line. Hi, how are you? And we had like these nicest girls. Like the first day, the second day, we met these girls, and of course, it was super hot. I'm like, hey, come sit with us and you can get some shade. And, they were like, fine, hi. And then they end up taking her to somebody's red carpet.
Ailey.
We went to Ailey.
Day 6.
We went to go see Day 6.
Day 6, I think.
And we didn't know them for too long, but it was just like a warm embrace. It's kind of felt you were with family. There wasn't too many bickering. I mean, of course, there was some pushing and stuff, but for me to go there and get that warm welcome and see so many different people of all ages, race, sizes, everything, and it was really good. And then I started feeling like, okay, it's not just 18 and younger kind of music, it's everything. And that's when it started getting me out. It got me out of my depression. I mean, not saying still have some like rough days, but at least I know I have that to back me up.
Right.
Or to help me out.
And okay, so Art Pixel said, some K-pop had started making my life lively, like an escape, and ultimately it helped my grades and mood. It made me want to learn new things. And then other realism reply back with, exactly, which is why I think we K-pop fans become so devastated when things like this happen, because these idols become like family, friends, and saviors rolled into one.
Yes,
yeah, and that is the truth. Like
they do.
They really do.
They come because you probably spend more time getting to know them. Some of them than some of our family. Like we always we have a middle sister. It's right in between us, and she gets kind of like, I don't get what you guys talk. She doesn't get it. But when we, you guys, going to travel where? You're spending this on tickets. You're doing this. I don't understand. But for us, it's like we have to be there. We have to go see the boys, or we have to go because they become so much of our lives that we have to. Or if something happens to them, our sister's like, I don't understand. Why do you care?
Yeah, but
we
it's
have to. They're family. Like
right.
we defend them, and we love them.
And like in America, for example, like when you're so used to like American groups and American solo artists, they don't really take the time to form that bond. Like they say, oh, thank you so much, I love you, whatever. But they're not like tweeting you all the time. They're not saying stuff all the time. Like, it's just so much more fan interaction with K-pop idols. And I think in America, you don't really get that. So the response is different. Like, if you tell your friends, okay, well, this concert for BTS is $300. And I'm paying my $300 ticket. I'm going front row. They're like, okay, $300, like
to see them. You don't even know what they're saying.
Right,
you don't understand.
Like, yeah,
why would you do that?
Yeah,
but Drake is coming. We're gonna go see Drake.
Yeah, and Drake is what, like easy 85, 90, maybe 100, right? Because it's cheap. Because he's in America. He from America, so it's cheap, right? I get it. I understand. They're from international artists. You have to pay a little bit more. I get it. Okay. But there's no problem with that, and that's because we love our boys. We love our groups, we love our K-pop idols, and that's just it. Like, you know, like,
I know he was.
oh, she was saying, "Ooh, I didn't know you could zoom in like that." Oh, Jehovah.
Did I do that?
Oh wait, hold on, wait.
Did I do that?
No, I did. Hold on, y'all.
Oh,
sorry.
good.
I don't know how to zoom out.
Look what's happening up here.
Oh God. Okay, so this is one thing that I want to say. This is one thing that I wanted to point out because it was kind of like what you were saying, because she said, yeah, I feel regretful because while I knew SHINee and knew their music, I never got to know the member, specifically Jonghyun, and now I'm watching everything about him. Yeah, and yeah, that's the same thing with us too. Like, we knew SHINee, everybody knows SHINee, everybody knows specific members, Taemin, Minho, you know, like members like that, but we never really took the time to know each and every member, you know, like to know, okay, well, Taemin's 26 or, you know, whatever, you know what I mean. And, you know, it does suck that you didn't, yeah, you know,
was really cute.
And how sweet, you know, he was so sweet, like, and it really does feel like a regret when you don't, but then again, you can't be upset about something you didn't know about. You know, if it took this to know about him, we'll be happy that you know about him now and that you didn't go the rest of your life without knowing about him, you know, because other people came across him in other ways. And if this is the way you came across him, then it's the way you came across him, you know. You can't be upset. You can't feel regret for that. What you don't know, you don't know. You know, you can't do anything about that. No, I think the last, Michael Jackson, and that was like Born Into type of thing. Yeah, our family always played Michael Jackson too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always have Michael. We have a very eclectic. Like, we listen to everything. There's not too much that we don't listen to. We've listened to like all types of music. In our family, yeah,
they're not. Korean mental illnesses are not taken as seriously. Yeah. I just feel like I just don't understand. Like, I understand why they wouldn't be, only because they're like, okay, well, it's in your head. It's in your head. Just fix it. But it's not like, what's in your head can take a toll. What you think comes to fruition.
That's how it is.
You can actually move mountains with your mind. Like, I'm not saying no, what's called telekinesis. I'm just saying you can make things happen with your mind. So if you're constantly talking bad about yourself, saying bad things, you're constantly gonna get that around you.
Look at Namjoon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just thought about that and I thought about Minyoongi not taking the focus off of Jonghyun at all, but that just triggers something because then Minyoongi used to like look in the mirror.
Yeah, and he used to say, "You're pathetic." Minyoongi used to look in the mirror and say, "You're pathetic," but look what he has done. You know, look what all the things that he possessed now, things that has his name on it. You know, and that's only because he worked for it. He went out there and he got it. But the thing with him is, the thing with anybody battling with depression is, it doesn't go away. And it never will. And I think that a lot of the time, people will say, like, okay, RM, for example.
Yeah,
you know they might say, like, he'll say something in his songs, right?
Every day I woke up wishing someone would kill me. Wish I would die.
Right? And then he'll say that, and then the fans will be like, "Oh, Bo, it's so sad. Oh,
I'm fine. I'm okay,
and then you get
everybody.
that, and then
right.
He just says he's okay, but is he really? No.
Because then he'll make another song, and then he'll say, "Because after always, in reflection, I wish I could love myself."
Right.
So between that's kind of like. You're never going to be out of it.
No.
But like I said, that you can have ways to deal with it. If you have coping mechanisms and things set in place so that if things get really bad and if you just have a really, really, really bad day, then you'll have the tools that you need to guide you through it and at least help you just stay stagnant, if you know, so that you don't go any deeper into that. Because if you already feel lonely and you feel burdened, you feel unwanted, you're not going to reach out and say, hey, I feel bad. You know, sometimes it takes you a second to like say, you know what, I'm starting to feel like that. I need to just either go for a walk or do something. Just I don't know, everyone to each their own, but just know that there's nothing so bad that you feel like you have to go this route. I'm sure it may seem like that because it's easy. You don't have to feel how you're feeling anymore. You don't have to deal with it. But know that even if you have a crappy situation with your family and you're not talking to them, you have friends, you have, a K-pop or music, a whole music community. You can always have a way out. There is someone that cares about you. Even if it's one person, it's one person that say, please don't do it.
Right.
I need you. And always keep that in mind.
I am well aware that depression can be caused by a chemical imbalance. Well aware. And that's why I said it doesn't always have to have a trigger. It can come from anywhere. Anything. And there's a lot of things that are chemical imbalances. Depression is just one of them. And I don't know. It's just, we can only do so much to help, and we can try our hardest to make sure that when you are going through it, we're there for you and we can help you. We really, really, I don't know. I don't even have any more words. That's all we can do is just talk to you, be there for you, be a listening ear. If y'all ever feel like y'all don't have anybody, y'all know you got us. And our Twitter and contact information is always in our videos. So if you ever want to message us and talk about your life, what's going on, feel free. We are always available. And don't think that because we're on YouTube, we ain't got time for y'all. No.
And don't think we don't understand. I know I myself, like I said in here, I have depression sometimes, and it comes for me, it comes around the change of the season. I don't know what it is, but when it changes, it's seasonal. I just get in this weird funk. I don't even know how to describe it. And it'll come and go, but don't feel like I won't understand, because I know I do. I have a lot of pressures in day-to-day life, but even if it's just I'm just going to rant and hit send, and, if you put, you don't need to reply, I won't reply back, or if you say, please respond, and then, I will respond back. But just have an outlet, that's all. Because I know it's better than you doing 20 other things. Because sometimes depression can lead to other things too. It's not just you sitting alone. You could be drinking or drugs. It can just lead to different paths. And we just try to avoid it because we truly care. Because this channel and K-pop and everything has helped me. It's helped me to be more outgoing, stop being in the house, be more outspoken, be more assertive, stop caring about what people think sometimes, because some people can be rude. And when I'm here in front, sometimes I look hit I do now. I look hideous, and we can be our own worst critic, and I'm very, very hard on myself a lot of times, and I stop caring sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to really worry about it. If we get sometimes we get some weird, nasty comments, I don't even think about it, because that will be something that will make me really feel bad. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. But this channel and talking to you guys really make me happy. I don't care if we get one viewer, we could be one person just talking, it could be 100 people talking. It doesn't matter. As long as, I'm interacting with someone, that does make me feel a lot better.
Right. And then also, you guys were saying like parts in Jonghyun's letter that really got to you. And I think those parts, like, I read his letter, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But did I read it to the point where I want to remember it? No. Like, I read it just so that I can, read it real quick so I can put all the pieces together, kind of. But I read it and then forgot about it because I'm like, I don't know. It's just something with me and really sad things. It takes this impression on me, and then the words, like, I just stick with the emotion, but the words are not there.
I remember.
So like, and there's like, and like when you said that these parts in here, when you said it's amazing how much I'm hurting, people who are hurting more live well, people who are weaker than me live well. And you also said, out of everyone alive, there's no one hurting more than I am, and there's no one weaker than I am. There's just so much emotion in that. Like, it's like, so I don't even know like the words to put together. Like, just the fact that you really, like, it's really that hurt, like, you're hurting that much that you feel like nobody is feeling as bad as you. And that is the saddest thing, because it's like, yeah, of course, we all don't know. Everybody has their own level of pain tolerance, whether it be emotional, physical, whatever. But it's just the fact that he felt that way. It just hurts so much because, like, you really feel like you were at the bottom, the dirt bottom. And it's just like, I don't know how to even, I don't know. But it's just like, the reason why I wanted to bring that out is just because the emotion that was carried with it. It's just like, I can definitely feel it more than I can say, because like I mentioned in other things before, that's part of the reason why I stay quiet, because it's hard for me to say what I feel. So I just stay quiet and I just let her do all the talking.
No, but, me do all the
like, but I think honestly, like, if I could, like, that's why I like to paint. Because when I paint, I can show you. I don't have to talk. I could just show you.
I'm a writer, so I write.
And so, like, it's so easy for me to just paint. And it's like, okay, like, I know which colors to make. I know exactly what I want you to see. And that's what I'm feeling. But it's really hard for me to clearly get my thoughts across to you using my mouth, using my words. It's like, I'm sorry, like... But yeah, that's like those two, that really hit it on the head for me.
The part that hit me was like the first beginning of it. I remember when he said, like, I'm broken.
Yeah.
Inside. That I will never forget when I read that, of like, I felt that. Like, I felt like, when you feel, like, for me, when I felt broken inside, it felt like there's I can't think of the word, but it's irreparable pain. Like, if I was torn open, there's no way you can restitch how I feel, or it's something that you can never feel this void. And when I was reading through that, like, I had to read it in in sections, but yes, I don't forget it, because because every emotion that was found, I'm like, at one point in time, I felt like that. And I never had the courage to write it down. And that is what I would, cry, and I would be upset, or I would, but I wish that I could have written it down, because that would probably be what I would feel in different points in time. Because when you're hurting like that, and you feel weak, like, especially for myself, like my father was very strict on me about showing my emotions, and he felt like that was a sign of weakness. So the fact that I had something that made me feel sad and made me feel down, I felt weaker than anyone else. And I also felt sad because I felt sad because I felt weak. And then I felt even more weak because I was it was kind of like a compound pressure. And just think of like what they have to go through and things that he had to endure, and how, who knows how long he was feeling like that, and how many people probably said it's okay, you'll feel better, it's just, you know, in the air, or it's this whatever excuse they gave him. You know, you don't really feel like you can relate to anyone. Like, who can really understand how I feel? But when I was reading through that letter and reading the last text that he he wrote his sister, it was just like, I know she probably, when she got that text, like, hey, something's not right. Like, she, you know, you get that sixth sense. Like, I feel someone need to go over there, because of the fact that, you know, like, you can hear someone say something so many times, but then sometimes you'll just get a little voice in your head to say, you know what, they don't sound like their normal selves, or they're not doing their normal actions. And it will tell you that you need to really start putting something in action to help them. And I can just, you know, my heart really goes out to everyone, you know, and I hope that if there's anything, like I said before, if there's anything positive, I hate using positive and tragedy at the same time, but if there's anything good that come out of this, is that they will find more help, and they will bring this more to light. Because as we said, we know in, even though BTS is our biased group, we know that a lot of them, even like V, I think like in BTS, like I was thinking of V, if he really grieved over his grandmother, or if, of course, Namjoon got his, I keep saying issues, I don't really want to say that, but he has his battles that he's going over, and especially other groups, like she mentioned, Top, it's just like, it's in every single group, but I just, hopefully they'll have the tools to help them.
Right.
That's all.
That's all we can hope for. But thank you for listening to our hour-long talk. It didn't really feel like an hour though, because we got a lot out,
like a Dr. Phil session.
And it just, I think
but
that
it was good.
I think that it's good, because I really didn't want to continue posting videos until we addressed this, because what? Oh
no, I'm sorry. I was just saying, and we didn't want to like get in that whole scheme of people doing reaction videos to him, or
oh yeah,
we like, needed time to process this too, because it was really hard. Like, if we would have done this right when it happened, I probably couldn't even talk, just because I was just so hurt.
And for all the people on Twitter, on social media in general, saying that it should have been BTS, no, it shouldn't even have been Jonghyun. You know,
yeah, it
like, just, it shouldn't have been anybody, but it was him, and
it very well could be BTS.
Right.
That's what I mean. It could be. Yeah. It could be anyone. But, you know.
But for you to say, like, it should have been that's horrible. What if the same person that said that, somebody tweeted them and said it should have been you? Then what would they have done? Then they would have been like, that just is so horrible.
Yeah, they were saying, oh, it should have been. Why it had to be that? Why it couldn't have been BTS? Right. And then the media doesn't make it any better when they put Namjoon's face and they said, you know, lead singer of SHINee found dead, and they're talking about, they had Namjoon's face sitting up there, and they even went through the lengths of, oh, they were on the Ellen show and they performed at the AMAs, like
that's just
Jonghyun. I'm like, you know,
you really didn't do your research at all. And I think that, well, I know that you didn't really do your research, because all it takes is 2 seconds to type up his name. Okay, how long did it take me to type up this title? 2 seconds. Okay, and literally, you type that up into Google, the first thing that pops up is obviously Kim Jonghyun. Okay, that's not that hard, and then right after that will be the circumstances that you're writing that you have to type up. So teleprompter guy, why are you doing that? And media guy that works with the audio and visual, why are you showing that video?
And not even that. Like, you would say Shiny and there's
Right.
BTS. Like one of those names had to. Like, I don't know.
I really don't understand. Okay.
You saying Rap Monster on national TV instead of Rap Monster, I can let that have a pass. But you saying BTS is Shiny and that the lead, and of course they come right into.
And then
them.
the thing that really got me was how they edited the little clip they showed. Hi, I'm RM and I'm the leader of this group. But they never mention BTS in there, knowing dang well that's BTS. Okay, and then another thing that made me mad was the fact, yes, they had the audacity to list Ellen Show and AMAs, knowing dang well that's BTS that did that. And like the fact that they showed him saying I'm the leader of this group, and then it's like, yeah, that's Shiny.
No, but the apology is what got me. Like,
how sorry it was.
They said, we realized that we made a mistake and that we put BTS instead of Shiny. Our apologies go out to the fandom for the mistake and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like...
But you still didn't acknowledge Jonghyun. Right. Who in the midst of all this is getting no... what's it called? Not publicity, but no notoriety on the fact that he is now gone. He is not with us anymore, and you are not showing his face. You are not saying
what we meant to say was this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they should have said.
What they should have did. What we meant to say was the vocalist from the group Shiny, okay, has passed away, and yada yada yada. Like they should not have did that. Like, I see you making a mistake, fine. It's a horrible mistake, but fine. We all make mistakes, right?
Horrible.
But the way you go about your apology, like, that's horrible. That is horrible. You're gonna put a little statement out on Twitter and then play a little clip of Shiny's music video?
That's what they did?
Yeah, they played a little clip.
I didn't watch it.
I don't understand.
After that apology, I didn't watch it. And very, very quickly, I just wanted to say how solemn and how nice his procession was.
Oh, yeah.
When they brought him out. I keep saying this, but I just cannot imagine how his fellow members held it together by carrying him out and caring for them, and even caring for the guests that came to the services and stuff like that.
Amino was in the doorway.
Yeah, like
it's just so.
And I understand that because when our grandmother passed, like I don't think, like, I didn't cry too much. I was more in like I need to help everyone mode. So I was just going around helping everyone, and my sister was like, she was crying, or our mom, everyone was crying, but I was more in like, let me help you. Let me, get everyone together. And everyone was kind of like, when is she going to break? When is she going to break? And it doesn't take, like, we went to like the store, and it took from when I went to go get like thank you cards to go pass out, and that's when I broke. But I can understand his mindset because he just want to have everything orderly, and sometimes you got to put that game face on. Not saying that he was hiding anything, but sometimes you just got to be a little bit stronger to have everyone else be strong.
Right.
So, but everyone else, I mean, everything was done very nicely, and I pray that we never have to deal with anything like this again. Right. If we have to deal with another funeral, let it be 50 years from now when they're all old guys,
and it's a natural
death. And then we did write, like, I wrote a couple letters to Namjoon, just letting him know, because I know how in his lyrics I did write to him, let him know that I appreciate him so much, and other and other, people in the group too, got letters just to kind of like let them know that they are loved.
Right.
So,
But thank you so much for
yep.
watching this now 1 hour, 1 minute, 15-second video. But like we said before, it really doesn't feel like a long time. And the reason why is because we get to talk with all of you guys, and the topic that we're talking about is so serious, and it's life. I mean, it can be life changing. We gave you guys lots of tips and everything, and hopefully I hope that you, like, if you battle with depression, then you are able to cope with it a little bit better through the tips. If you remember, we said a while ago.
Yeah.
But just I just hope that like we said before, they bring more awareness to mental illnesses everywhere, and especially in South Korea with K-pop idols. I think they should have like a special thing just for K-pop idols, and then for everybody, but also for specifically K-pop idols, like Doctor like how sometimes they have, like how Leandra was in the military, so they have like the VA, like maybe like a hospital for K-pop idols. If they need mental help, then they can go there. Like a private, something like that. It's just something to bring more awareness. It's just, it still baffles me about the top situation. Like, you go to the doctor to get help and you get declined. Like, that's a whole different topic, but it just makes me just baffled that things like that happen.
It does. It happens here too. Like a lot of, like I said, like a lot of people either they don't say anything, or they're misdiagnosed, or they, doctors are overwhelmed, and they, just write people off. Right. They always, if it's in the medical field, if it's not something that is tangible, like 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 can equal 3. So if there's something that they can't really get their mind around, if you keep saying like, I don't feel like myself, I feel, are you eating? Yeah, I'm eating. Or are you sleeping well? I'm sleeping well. I just don't feel right. Well, how do you feel? I don't know. Not right. They can't put their mind around. That's not a diagnosis. It could be so many things. So sometimes they just kind of write it off, and it's not really good. And anytime you ever get a diagnosis or an opinion that you don't feel right about, always go get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Always, always, always.
You guys can do that. Because I know for a while, I didn't know that you could do that.
Always.
I thought once your doctor says something, that's it. No. You can always go to a different doctor and get a second opinion, because you never know. Doctors are the position, yes, because they've been through schooling. They know the things that they are doing. But at the same time, they're human. Just as you and me, they can make mistakes. Right. So a second eye is better than just one, right? 2 eyes better than one, right? So definitely, like, if you feel something is not right with your prescription or anything, something is just not right, get a second opinion.
Yeah.
So
you always have the right to do that. You have the right to, you do have the right to refuse, but if you have medication that's saving your life, you don't want to refuse it, but you do have the right to refuse it. I'm just saying. You have a lot of things. Some people don't come in, they come into the hospital and they don't know those things, but and sometimes doctors depend on you not knowing that, so that you can just keep coming back to them for one, and that they can always, have that trusted patient. But if you always feel something like it's not, they say something and it's not sitting right in your gut, trust your gut, just go get a second opinion. Just say, hey, I just having these symptoms. I want to know, can I check it out and see if they line up? Because like she said, 2 eyes are better than one. So we just want to make sure everyone is happy, safe, and in a good mindset. Like she said, you can always send us a message on Instagram or on Twitter anytime. Even if it's saying, hey, I had a good day today, that's good. Sometimes you have those days like, man, I did not get upset today, or I didn't have to, really feel bad. even if you send us a message and say that, send us a tweet, say, hey, I had a good day. That's great, because everyone, you know, wants to have a good day. So, like she said, we always have open door. Don't ever feel like, you know, you have no one to talk to, because we're always here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So we'll let you guys go.
We'll let you guys go. Sorry for holding you guys hostage for what is now 1 minute 6 seconds.
Okay.
I mean 1 hour 6
Female
minute
Namjoon here.
33 seconds. All right. So, all right. Bye.